We are joined now by Nishchal Dua. He is VP Marketing at inFeedo. Nishchal, thank you so much for joining us today. Super excited for your talk. Take it away.
Perfect. Sounds good. Thank you so much, Gary. And hi, everyone. I hope you're enjoying the event so far. I've been to and I've presented and hosted a bunch of different events over the last couple of years. I think this entire format of Hot Takes Live is phenomenal. It just compresses a lot of information down to 15 minutes, and that's amazing. So I think a lot of you must be enjoying the event so far. Won't take too much time over the next 10, 12 minutes. I'll try to cover one contrarian opinion here, and let's go right into it. But before that, just a very quick overview. Gary was grateful enough to mention that I'm heading marketing at inFeedo right now. I've been in the B2B SaaS industry. That's my area of expertise. I've been here for about 10 years now. The last 6 years I've spent leading growth teams, marketing teams, product marketing and brand teams across multiple B2B SaaS companies. My specialization is especially the $0 to $10 million journey. So that's really where I've spent most of my time. And if you realize what the biggest challenge for most of these companies is, and we can move to the next slide here, what you will see is that essentially all your growth stage companies will have the same problem being repeated over and over again, right? You're facing a lack of great leads coming in. Your leads are not converting. Your revenue is not growing. Your customers are not sticking. No one really cares about you anymore. All of those problems come back to this one thing that everyone talks about, and that's brand, right? That one word, enough said about it, right? But that one word of that brand, it creates a lot of different emotions and feelings and memories for all of us, because we've all been in a space where we've heard things like, we need a better brand, we need a better brand recall. And no one across the table really knows what brand means in the first place, right? And no one can agree on what brand definition is, what brand measurement looks like, how do we really go about growing our brand. We all fumble around the table and we all talk about different things to execute, and we still want to go ahead and build a brand. So stuff like, hey, our competitors are winning deals over us because they have a better brand. All these conversations tie back to the same question of what exactly is a brand in the first place. Is it my colors? Is it a bunch of other things? Should I just hire a brand manager, let them do this? Should my CMO or VP of marketing be the one to solve my brand problems? Is it product marketing? Is it growth marketing? Where does brand really sit in the entire marketing team? And those are all real challenges that we've all seen, we've heard, we've faced over time, right? One thing that I can very clearly align all of us on is brand is not your colors. It's not your logo. It's not a website refresh, right? A lot of times when we think brand, we're like, hey, let's just redo the entire website. It becomes a 6-month-long project. We get an agency, we do a visual design guideline, we write down an entire playbook around it. We rebuild the entire website only to realize 6 months down the line, the market landscape has changed completely. We need a different kind of a problem solution at this point. It's definitely not your merchandise. Sure, merch is great. Your swag is great. You've got amazing, good-looking hoodies and caps and tumblers, but that is not what your brand is. It's not billboards. It's not celebrity endorsement. It's not buying a massive piece of advertisement in a major national daily. Those are not your brand efforts. I think those could be differently channels or tools at your disposal. But if you're thinking that that's how you're really building a brand, at least from an early and mid-stage growth startup companies, you're definitely mistaken. So in a B2B SaaS world, that would not fly as brand at all. For me, brand, in the simplest terms, is the story that you tell over and over and over again. It's a story that you tell so many times in all the different places that you get bored by telling the same story. It becomes deafening to a level, and it becomes super annoying, and you become tagged as the person or the company that only talks about this particular message, this particular story. And that's the reason why brands are built over time, because you stick to that messaging that you have for as long as you can. And brand is definitely not a team sport. If you're thinking, let me try to get consensus across the board, let me try to get all my key stakeholders together, we'll all discuss and brainstorm and we'll come up with brand ideas, that's not going to fly. You'll always get the average result out of it. A group of people can never give you exceptionally great results. Exceptionally great results come when you're bold, when you experiment, when you try to go beyond the norm, because in today's world, if you're not standing out from the competition, no one's going to remember you. And for you to be memorable is what marketing is all about, right? A great brand is a company that people remember. So if your marketing is not memorable, if you're not creating MTM, moments that matter, then no one's going to remember you. And that's what brand is all about. And lastly, I think, and this is one of my additional views here, I think brand is a story that you cannot tell in isolation. It's not something that only your leaders or your marketing team is talking about all the time. You have to work with creators in today's world. We're seeing the emergence of massively scalable creator networks across social, across communities. And if you're not working to empower creators, you're not working to build creators who can tell your story better than you can ever, then your brand will never hold true on its own, right? Another challenge here is that the authenticity of a brand is directly proportional to the quality of people who are talking about that story. So if you're the only one who's repeating, and if you don't have enough listeners and if enough people to re-advocate what you're talking about, then your brand falls flat, and then your brand is just something that you're talking about constantly, and no one really cares about that, right? So those are my 4 very high level bullet points on what brand could be and could not be, right? Goes back to the one simple line: is the sum of all interactions, all touch points your customers are ever going to have with you. And if there's a consistent storyline, and the deeper you go into that storyline, the better your brand recall really becomes here.